Welcome back to another episode of We Roguelike It. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpier.
Bonjour, mon ami.
And Monkey Sr.
Hello.
This is our first week of Dicey Dungeons. The dice-related hellish punishment roguelike.
Yep, it makes me think that somebody watched the Futurama episode of Going to Hell while playing a D&D campaign.
Yeah. How far has... I beat the first episode. Unfortunately, I haven't had as much time to play this week as I would have liked. I finished the first episode, the one with... the
Warrior.
The Warrior, and you unlock the Rogue, and I started Rogue or Thief?
Thief.
I started a run with Thief and only started a few fights.
Sorry, in the American localization, it's Thief. In the English localization, it's Rogue, because, you know...
Yeah.
There's an old school Harry Potter joke for you there, folks.
There you go. Yeah. It's the Philosopher's Rogue.
Yes.
How far are you guys? Let's go with you, Moon.
I did the Warrior campaign, the first chapter. I was like, cool, I'm going to do the second chapter. No, you can't do the second chapter until you've unlocked more characters.
Oh.
So if you select him again, it's like, oh, you need to unlock 5 characters to do this second campaign thing.
Oh, wow.
Like, okay, I'll play as the Thief. Biggest quibble with the game, number 1. It tells you what the Warrior's class ability is. Mm-hmm. Which is you can re-roll up to 3 dice a turn.
Yes.
That's his specific class ability. Doesn't tell you what the Thief says.
Oh, before you start playing as the Thief? Yeah.
So the Thief's ability is he steals the enemy's abilities, for those of you who don't know.
Oh, okay, because the role I started with was... so the very first fight I got into with the Thief, I saw the piece of equipment that says splits a dice, and I had... 1 6 die, and I was like, perfect, if it splits it, I'm gonna get 2 3 ones, and I can pump both those in 3. I got a 1 and a 5, and it's like, cool, I can't use that now.
Yep. So yes, his class ability is he steals an enemy ability.
Okay.
Which is cool, minus the fact that, you know, it can be terrible depending on what ability you steal.
Sure.
He seems to be a much more thinkers kind of player.
Yeah, you got to plan a lot more.
Yeah, the Warrior is dead simple. It's like, oh, I got a 6. I'm going to pump it into the broadsword, which I love the broadsword so far. It's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Which is the dice damage plus 2 or 3, depending on which level of broadsword you have. And then you just basically put the dice in the holes. The Thief is like, no, you have to think about what you're doing, because do you really want to split that 6? Like you said, and get a 5 or a 1, or a 4 or a 2, and so on and so forth. I got up to floor 4 with the Thief.
Oh, wow.
And then promptly died.
Okay.
Because the Thief has got basically such low HP that you need to be doing as much like damage to the enemy's dice as you can. Like, you need to be freezing them, burning them, doing whatever you can to stop those dice from actually being used, because he will go down so quick.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I died with him, I was like, well, I'm going to take a break for a little bit. And he's like, congratulations, you unlocked the robot. So I have my third character unlocked, but I haven't actually done a run as the robot yet.
Oh, okay. One of my favorite pieces of equipment so far... It started out fine. I don't remember what it was called, but it was, you put a dice in there that the highest it could be is 3, and then it doubles the attack.
That's the battle axe.
Yeah. I upgraded that, and that took the restriction from 3 to 5. And I was like, okay, well, using the Warrior, toss a 5 in there to do it twice, and then use his limit break.
Fury.
Yeah, to do that again, I was like, yeah, all right, yeah. Now I'm starting to chew through some stuff here.
Yeah, by the end of the Warriors campaign, I kind of felt a little bit unbeatable.
Yeah,
like it was definitely a case of, okay, so you're just super powerful. That's your whole thing. Is you're the beginner's class. That's what you do.
Yeah, you're the Ryu.
I can't remember which ability it was, but there are a couple in there which are really cool, because when you upgrade them, it takes them from a 4 slot, or from a 2 high tier on the equipment page to a 1 high tier.
Wow.
So then I ended up with, I think it was my warrior run. I ended up with like the broadsword, and then something else there that was like one slot, and then three of the support item basically
Oh,
things.
wow.
So I was just like, cool. I'm just gonna rock this place like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, toss me a bunch of dice. I can just. I got 6 slots to fill.
Yeah, I think at the end of my warrior run, I had 6 items. Like I was just like, all right, okay,
Wow,
let's do it.
that's
So many
great.
options.
Man,
But,
yeah, I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about having quote unquote equipment because at the beginning it sort of seems like, well, here's my attack, here's another attack, and then I can kind of burn every once in a while or like re-roll a couple of die, but I don't think I ran into an upgradable. I don't think I upgraded a piece to shrink it in the grid. That's really strong.
So I actually played once with all the base characters, I guess. So there's 5 characters that you just to unlock. You just play the previous one. So
Okay.
yeah, you play it once, and then the very last character is it's just question marks of how to unlock it. So I haven't
You
unlocked
gotta
them
be
yet,
Mega
but
Satan.
Yes.
probably Mega Satan, yeah. But yeah, I played once with all of them, and I'm really surprised at how different all of them are. Like it's pretty funny that so it as you unlock them, you can see their difficulty. The warrior's 1 star, the thief is 2 star. Like it's not really difficulty, it's complexity, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's the old I don't know if you guys ever played the. Why did I forget the name of it? Because it was all I could think about while I was playing it. The card game from Blizzard, Hearthstone. It's the old Hearthstone thing where, depending on your deck, you either have to think a lot before you take your actions, or you can just go spoosh, 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 and be done.
Right.
Yeah. So for the first 3, I lost at like, I don't know, the 3rd floor or something. And then the last 2, I won their campaigns.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I really like
these are just
the
too
last
simple for me. I'm much
I don't know,
too good
I
for
guess.
that.
'Cause the last character especially is really cool.
What are the last 2 characters?
So the 4th one is the inventor, and then the 5th one is the witch.
Ooh, okay.
So the inventor is after every battle, you basically sacrifice one of your equipment to have an ability for the next round. So like if you sacrifice like a weapon, for example, you can just have every turn you can do 5 damage. Just straight up. You don't have to put any dice into it. Like you just click a button, it does 5 damage. So
interesting.
Each equipment has different special abilities, and they seem to get more chests. I mean, it would make sense because you're sacrificing every single battle. And then the last one, the witch. So instead of equipment, they have spell slots, and they start out with 6. And it's really hard to explain. So they have 6 spells in their spell book, and then you can put dice into your spell book to put a spell. There's like 4 slots on the left side that you can actually cast, and then you can have multiple of each.
Okay.
And there's this one spell called Hall of Mirrors, and it gives you +1 dice for the rest of the battle.
Ooh,
interesting.
And you could just keep using it and using it and using it. Unupgraded, it needs a 6, but if you put it on an upgraded slot on the left side, you just need an even.
Oh no.
Even number. So yeah, I was just getting so like every single turn I was just.
I got 18 dice. Here we go.
Yeah. And then another thing about the witch is if you on the left side, your spells, if you use that spell, it goes great. It's grayed out, so you can't use it anymore. But if you put another dice into your spell book, you can overlap. So you can use that spell again, basically.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
it's like a refresh on the cooldowns.
Yeah, kind of.
Wow.
And like, yeah, the witch is really powerful, but it is really complicated. But once I got it, like, I was just like, man, this is so strong.
Man, speaking of which, I want to say, I think a lot of
Is that a deliberate pun?
What?
Was that a deliberate pun? Speaking of which.
Oh, I should have said. Speaking of witches, I think a lot of attention on this game has been focused on the art style. I think it looks really cool. I think the music, of course, is really great.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, the thing I was most surprised about are the enemy designs are really fun. Like
They're really weird.
Like the slime that's sitting in an ice cream cone, or the overly friendly space marine. And why the witches reminded me is I really liked, I think they're called sorceress, and just a woman sitting on a broom, but she's on her phone during your turn, and I think that's really great.
They've put a lot of effort into that kind of stuff. Like, I just love the general designs, like the electric guy or whatever it is, and it's just a like, looks like a VCR guy face. It's just like, okay, whatever's going on here, that's
even
fine.
The shopkeepers are fun. Like, I think it's the blacksmith that can't even see over the counter in the shop. Like, there's a lot of really cool stuff in there. Yeah, Dicey Dungeons is... I was hoping this would be good, and I am having a lot of fun with it.
Me too. I'm curious to see how far down the rabbit hole it goes, like, with regards, because like the Warrior's got like 8 chapters, dude. I mean, come on.
Seems like all of them have like 8 or something, 8 or 10 or something like that.
And I'm curious if it's going to be a case of like, for each chapter you unlock stuff, or if it's a case of like, you unlock the characters and then go ahead and try and beat these levels, just make it harder kind of thing.
Yeah,
like, it's one of the things I loved about Hand of Fate was you beat this level, and the level was simple, but you get some powerful rewards, and that allows you to mix your deck up with even more powerful items and take out the items that you don't like to use. That was always one of my favorite things about Hand of Fate. If you hear knocking, by the way, folks, that's just the wind at my window, and if you hear meowing, that's the cat outside my door meowing to be let in.
Yeah, that's a good point, because Hand of Fate, you could craft runs that met your specific play style, and I'm wondering how far we'll get into that with Dicey Dungeon, or it's very much going to be, here's your class, you need to craft a play style around the class as opposed to how you want to play the class.
Play your class, noob.
That's right. Play your role. Yeah. All right, any last thoughts here about Dicey Dungeons for our first week?
Not particularly. I mean, it's interesting so far. We'll see how well it holds up that, but I don't like the Simlish. Like, stop it with the Simlish. Enough with people speaking fake languages.
Yeah, you don't have to have speech. It's always an interesting choice, because like I don't think you need to have speech in this game. It's okay without it. And also, don't be like me. Don't try to play this with a touchpad. It's not a fun time.
Oh wow! What did you play it on?
I started trying to play it on my laptop. They really need an option where you can
touchpad.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking touch screen.
Oh,
come on, Boston.
Touchscreen
Get
would be
with
great.
the 20th century.
Yeah. They really need an option. I have to look in the options. Should be able to click on a dice and then click on the slot you want it to go in, but I don't think that's
my favorite thing is just pulling a dice and leaving it in random parts of the screen.
Yeah, you just dump it wherever you want. Yeah.
I mean, once you get like 10 dice, you're like, I'm gonna sort out. Because I started doing that as well. Out of the way. I need to think. Yeah. I need to think clearly. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you next run. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.